Hey, welcome to Blossom Rise. It's your host, Amber Toysella, and thank you for choosing to tune in today. Today is a very sensitive vlog, and so I do appreciate you watching. So in 2 days will be the 3rd year that my grandmother made her transition into spirit. And it's been really hard for me. Subconsciously, my mind has been preparing for this. And it's been an emotional past week. I am a psychotherapist, mental health counselor. That's really my title. I'm a mental health counselor. And last week I did a training through the Connect program, which is facilitated by the NAMI New Hampshire chapter. And two amazing trainers came out to El Dorado County and did a training on how to appropriately respond to death by suicide in the community, and it was a really rough training. It went from Monday, where they trained us, they gave us the training, like the information, and it was a train the trainer type of program, which they train us to train others. So it was intense, and it just brought up memories of grief for me and what I'm going through. But I wanted to share about the night that she made her transition, and how I was still able to communicate with her even though she consciously was no longer there, and she would have made her transition a few hours after what I tell you, what I'm going to share with you. I can't even talk. Okay, so August 19th, 2016. Let's see, a week before that, maybe like a week and a half, my grandmother attended her last living relative's, last sibling's funeral. She passed away in July, and maybe it wasn't July then, because it was like shortly after my grandmother passed. So maybe I think it was the end of July. And so she was complaining about her stomach, right? Like a week and a half before she passed. And I called her So she was complaining about her stomach, and I was going to be going up to Portland that Friday. So I want to say that I went to go see her Tuesday, and I was late going to see her. And when I got to her, she looked different, and she asked me to get her a Kleenex to spit. And so I said okay. And so I gave her some Kleenex, and when she spit, it was this dark green stuff, and she felt clammy. And so I got a CNA to come and, clean her up. And during that time, we both looked at each other, and it was like tunnel vision. And her spirit spoke to me, and it said, "I'm tired." And I knew exactly what that meant. So I told her that I loved her, and that I went out into the hallway, and I called my sister. Sorry. And I told her what was going to happen. And so I knew then, when her spirit spoke to me, I knew that I was on limited time with her. So the next morning, I wake up and I call her, as I did every morning, and she didn't sound clear. So I told her that I was concerned and that I wanted her to go to the hospital. I got off the phone, I called the nurse's station. She was in a convalescent, by the way. And so I called the nurse's station and they said that they were trying to get her to go to the hospital, but she was refusing, and that they were going to call my mom and try to convince her. So they convinced her. So I went to work having this heaviness on me. So she went to the hospital, right? I go see her after work. Me and my sister meet there. So this had to be a Friday because we were set to leave to go to Portland to go to my cousin's graduation from her program. And I sat on the bed with her, and she looked at me and she was like, well, it's not like I'm not going to get out of here alive. And I just wept because I knew that she wasn't going to survive whatever was going on. So I told her I loved her, and we left. And I'm sorry. We went to Portland. We saw our cousins graduate, and then all the way back to her house to set up for the graduation party, my mom called me and told me that we needed to come home as soon as possible because our grandmother could pass at any time. So what we found out was that the reason why she was throwing up that green stuff was it was considered bile. She had a obstruction in her stomach, in her intestines, and she would have been able to be operated and, not cured, but they would have been able to fix the problem. However, she was 90 years old, and she had congestive heart failure. So they told us that there was a huge possibility, a huge percentage that she wouldn't make it throughout the surgery. And so my grandmother chose to move forward and having the body do what it does. So I called my partner, told him that we needed our tickets changed, and we were home before 5 or 6 that night. And it was still summer, so it was light out. And we went to the hospital. So it was me, my partner, my sister, her then partner, and my uncle, and my grandma, of course. So my grandmother had her eyes closed the entire time. They started giving her pain meds. So, we're in there. My uncle goes, okay, you need to tell her everything that you want her to know. And I said, I don't have anything unsaid, Dad. I've told you every day that I loved you, and I tried to do everything I could by you. And I apologize for all of the bullshit, basically, without saying that I put you through as a kid. But I love you. And without opening her eyes, she said, I love you too, Amber. But that wasn't enough for me. I walked outside the room, and my partner followed me, and my heart was so heavy with grief. And later that night, he told me that was the saddest that he'd ever felt, and that he was almost, he felt like he was going to cry too, and he's a very non-sensitive person. And so before we left, I asked her if it was okay if I was not in the room with her as she made her transition, because I was there for her sister, and I got to witness somebody actually take their last breath, and I just didn't think I could do that with her. So she decided to go to hospice, or palliable care. So every day I went to the hospital after work to go and see her. There was one day or her body was in just so much excruciating pain that she was moaning. And my grandmother held pain. She had like a high tolerance for pain. She didn't really complain much. So I can't believe how strong I was during that time. So I made sure that she was okay and comfortable. I called the nurse in, and she was okay. We would plan, like, we were planning out the funeral. My grandmother had planned out. She had already paid for everything years prior. My grandma was 90 years old. Like, you know, everything was planned out. We were just trying to, like, plan out the music, and me and my sister and my mom, we did it while she was in the room, and it just felt, I was okay. And I don't know if it was because I was numb or because I had really come to this fact and acceptance that, you know, she's gonna transition soon. So that was okay. So it was a week. So Friday, which was the 19th of August 2016, me and my sister were gonna spend the night, but the hospital couldn't come up with another hospital bed, like those like pull out chair things. They only had one. So that night I said, okay, I'm gonna read Grandma a book. I had the Sylvia Brown book, I think, like about the life and spirit or something like that, about the other side. And I sat on her bed and I read to her. And I was there for like 3 hours, I think, so I left around 12 a.m. And so I came to her side of the bed and I said, I love you, you know, like, I'll be back tomorrow. I'll come spend the night with you tomorrow night. And I looked at her hands and it was all bruised from the needles. And I wiped her eye because she had like crust in her eye. And I kissed her. And then I walked to the door and I said, babe, I love you. And in my mind, I immediately heard back, I love you too. And I said, hey Lex, my sister was there, her name's Lex. I said, hey Lex. She just told me she loved me, so I know that her spirit is still here. I went home, and well, 3:30 my mom called me. And told me she made her transition. And I was numb. I couldn't believe it. I knew it, but I couldn't believe it. So the next morning, my sister announced it on Facebook, and she tagged me, and everybody was calling to check up on me. And I was just, I just couldn't. I went to a deep depression, and I talked to my supervisor about it, and she suggested that I go to the doctor and ask for something to help me get through the funeral. So I went to the doctor, and my doctor was like super adamant that she was not going to prescribe me any refills, and that this was it, because she gave me Xanax, and it's abusive, right? I told her I just needed something to just like make me get through the service. So I got to the funeral. I picked up some family from the airport, and we had the funeral on her birthday, which was September 9th. She would have been 91. So the family purposely waited for her birthday a few weeks later. So and I think it's really important to note that she passed like one day before her wedding anniversary, which was August 21st. I thought that was funny because it was like she couldn't wait to be with my grandfather. So the day of the funeral, September 9th, as soon as I drove in and got in the parking lot, I lost it. I didn't want to see her corpse because I knew that that wasn't her anymore. But my family sat where I could see her. And I got inconsolable. And I remembered I had my medication, so I took it. And I was sad, you know, but I was okay. I wasn't inconsolable like I had been, so it worked. It made its purpose, and I was able to get through the funeral. She looked really good. She just looked like she was sleeping, which I've seen some family members, and they don't look like that. They look different. So I'm really happy that she looked the same. And the days following was really difficult. Yeah. My partner, I think it was like a Monday or Sunday, he was like, okay, you know, let's get out of the house, let's do something. Because he knew that I needed to. And so he took me to Berkeley, the Berkeley Marina. And it was what I needed at that time. It's crazy because ever since I was a young child, I had fear of losing her. I would have dreams about her dying, and I would feel like it was my fault. And I felt like she's gonna live forever. You know, she's 90 years old. I was like, oh, she's gonna live until she's 100. Like, I'm gonna have her forever. I'm 27 years old, and I'm gonna have her forever. And then, like, fast forward to the present, like, life now, it's weird. It's like this new reality, and it's hard. And it's a new reality, and I feel like I'm going to grieve her not being her for the rest of my life. Maybe not every day. I do think of her every day. But and that's why I got my tattoo. If you hadn't seen it. That's her when she was 20. Because I wanted people to know who she was in this life. How beautiful of a human being that she was. I said, you know, you're always in my heart, but I want the world to continue to know who you are and how you influenced me to be the woman that I am and am continuing to growing to be. After I got my tattoo January 25th of this year, a day for my 30th birthday. It was really agonizing. 2 hours. I said, Grandma, I was like, I wonder what you think of my tattoo. And immediately I heard in my mind, it was too expensive. You spent too much money on it. And I knew without a doubt that was her, because that's something that she would say. And it's funny because 2 weeks before she passed, and I had no acknowledgement that this was going to happen. And I asked her, you know, babe, I said, when you go home, you know, to the Father's house, I want you to come and see me before you go, just so that I know you're okay. And she was like, well, I don't know how it's going to be. I've never been there before. And I laughed. And I just feel like on a soul level, I knew. And so I just want to celebrate her and not be sad. And I questioned, like, not question, but when I pass, I'm not afraid. And I want to tell people that they're loved. The people I love, I want them to know. So just in case something happens unexpectedly, that they know that I love them. That's really important to me. And she communicates with me all the time, through different ways. Like on her birthday last year, I was trying to go to church, and I just could not make it. And so something told me to go to the co-op, the food co-op up here. And I go. I forget what I got. I got some bullshit. And I looked at the cashier's name. Her name was Madeline, and she spelled it exactly the way my grandmother did. And I knew that that was my grandmother's way of comforting me. So it's just small things. Small things. The day that she passed, I was in a haze, and I found myself in a thrift store, and I found a tie for my partner. I went to go pay for it, and then there was like this display case, and so down below in this display case there was this pendulum, and it said, "World's greatest grandmother." Out of all things that I straight down, and I knew that was her. Her spirit speaking to me. So I'm doing okay. It's just, it's a thing that happens, the grief, you know, it's a continuous, it's a cycle, right? If you don't know what the 5 stages of grief are, the first one is denial. You're denying that the death has taken place. The second one is anger. You're angry that the death has taken place. The third one is bargaining. If, coulda, woulda, something. Okay. The fourth, I can't do 4, so I'll do 4 like this. The fourth one is depression. And the fifth one is acceptance. And we move through all of these stages interchangeably. Okay? And I recognize that I'm in a state of grief, and it's okay. It's okay. I talk about her. And she's an ancestor. And I'm a living part of her. And I'm okay. And with that, I thank you for tuning in and choosing to be a part of my journey. And if you're also grieving from a loved one that's transitioned, know that it gets easier. And it's okay if you have moments of complete despair because you miss them so much. It's been 3 years, and it's always going to be like that, I feel like. I think about her every day. I talk to her. It gets easier. The love doesn't die. The body dies. But the spirit goes on. So it's okay to feel any type of way that you feel. We all grieve differently. And again, I thank you for tuning in. If you like the videos that's on this channel, go ahead and subscribe. There is a bell below, so you can click on it to get notifications every time I drop a release. Every time I post a video. I tend to post every Monday or Tuesday of the week, depending on how technology is going. And if you'd like for me to cover a specific topic, go ahead and comment below. Comment below if you're dealing with grief. And grief doesn't always mean like a loss of a loved one. It could be a loss of a job, a different relationship. Comment below. I'd love to hear about it. until next time, have a good rest of your day. Know that your loved ones are always with you, and it's okay to cry, be angry, be sad, be okay, question, it's okay. We're all in this together. Thanks.